what counts as Fenton? Can a piece of LG Wright, Masser, Rosso, Rossi, or others be considered Fenton?
In the end, perhaps the answer is up to you. But a little behind-the-scenes understanding of how glass companies operate might help us shed some light on this question.
You are watching the channel for Fenton Glass, Lamps, and Victorian Style, with your host, James Bartosh.
Hi, thanks for joining. In the business of handmade glass, there are many vastly different skills.
From product design and knowing the market well enough to determine what will sell, to the engineering side, mold making and process engineering, to chemistry, decorating, and the glass blowing itself, there is a business model behind doing all of those things collectively, or really any one of those things, and contracting others to do the rest.
Remember that Fenton actually started out as a decorating company. And years later, the script would flip, whereby decorating companies would buy Fenton glass and resell the products under their company names.
Really, throughout their history, Fenton would do one of two things: win contracts to produce products for other companies, or create items for their own product line to sell and market themselves and their dealer networks.
And that's a pretty common route for any manufacturer. LG Wright acquired old molds and paid for Fenton to pour the glass, knowing that he would have a market in what he would end up reselling.
For the purpose of defining something as Fenton, I would say there are a couple of different categories. The first is easiest. Obviously, items in the Fenton line. Also, things that may have not been sold to the public, or were gift shop or QVC specific, and so on. They were produced using techniques, colors, and equipment specific to Fenton.
The second falls under the contracting idea we talked about earlier, when other companies would contract for Fenton's expertise in glassmaking.
They aren't sold in the Fenton line or through their dealers, but by the reselling party. Fortunately, there are decent records on this cataloged in books, and yes, most collectors call these Fenton. Adding a description to say Fenton for name of the other company is additionally helpful and accurate. It is still duly called Fenton because the equipment, technique, and overall expertise of the glassmaking is completely Fenton.
Some might say that there's a third route, items made from old Fenton molds. For instance, right now, members of the actual Fenton family are making glass items from the company's old molds.
But just like LG Wright making items from old Northwood molds, we don't call them Northwood, we call them LG Wright. Considering Fenton, the company existed from 1905 to 2011, and the products are constrained as such. So if you are questioning if an item you have is truly Fenton, consult the catalogs, the books, or send a photo and details into a Facebook group like Fenton and Vintage Treasures for help identifying.
In the end, quality is what matters, and that's why the Fenton name carries weight. I applaud anyone trying to carry on the traditions of the level of quality Fenton produced. But remember, quality is ultimately only judged by the enjoyment it gives you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Did you know Fenton lamps come in jumbo? Explore the history of Gone with the Wind lamp sizes.
Click to see that special content now. And for other shows on differing topics, visit infeedvideo.com.